go. Welcome back. It's your boys. Cut artist Nathaniel Covington
Howdy.
from Anyone Can Die podcast. He hasn't been on a minute, but we've been saving something special for you guys. So before we start, go ahead and hit that subscribes, hit the likes, leave some shit in the comments if you want. Do what you got to do. Um, Nathaniel says he has some treats that he's drinking on, but yeah. So what do we got? We have burial.
You already could read it from half the label. My man
Yeah.
knows way too much. I've never had this before, but kept seeing it, so I got it.
Yeah.
Get in there. There you
Burial
go.
surf wax.
Yep.
Yeah, no, surf is good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Let's see what your boy rated it. Well, before we start. I think I've had that particular one.
I've seen it a whole bunch.
Yeah.
There's a place called the Filling Station on 12 South, close to where I work.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bunch of really cool stuff, and they had it there. But I'd seen it other places and never gotten it, so I picked it up
Mm.
since I knew we were gonna do some recording tonight.
Yeah. Surf wax. What if out of in a 0.25 um rating system at two up to five, what do you think I rated this?
What do you think? You rated it
Mm-hmm. What do you think I rated it?
3.5.
Ooh, very close. 3.75.
Dang, all right.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
It's very
It's
good. What?
it's like sometimes when you get, I think it was like 6.9%,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's like,
6.8 for 45 IBU. The global average is 3.98 out of 5. I had it
yeah.
I'd had it not that long ago too. September 2nd.
Sometimes when it's like
Pretty
at
cool.
that point, the 6.8 or whatever, like it's no matter what it's supposed to be like, you're kind of like,
Hmm.
whew, you look, whew, and this one's smooth. It
Yeah,
doesn't,
no, I like it.
whew,
It's a nice little treat.
yeah.
This so your boy had a friend of the show, Connor, in town this weekend. So I drank a lot. So we're detoxing on my end for right this
Oh,
second. We're detoxing.
okay.
But I can go grab a beer if we can't drink alone.
No, no, no. You're good
Okay.
by all
But I
means.
am having these alive mushroom elixir things, matcha cream soda version.
Whoa.
Telling you, bro.
Never had that.
Oh, they're good. So these GTs, that's what they're called. They're they're kind
Tasty.
of expensive, but a lot of the times you'll find them on like 2 for 1 or whatever sale. So I'm like, I'll
Hmm.
get that. I'll get that. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I might get one to try out.
Tasty treat. This one, the matcha cream soda ones is the best, I think. And then they have the cola one. There's a root beer. And there's a turmeric one. Don't get the turmeric one. Man, it will destroy you. It's rough. But anyways, so yeah, we've had Nathaniel on before talk about horror movies. That's what we're gonna do again. So what we're gonna do is this episode we're gonna run through Nathaniel's picks for horror movies in 2024. Maybe some honorable mentions. We'll go from there, and then follow up with this. So stay tuned. Catch the next episode because we're gonna talk about what's coming up in 2025 and what you need to keep your eye on. So, without further ado, actually, do you want to talk about Anyone Can Die at all? Or wait till the end?
Woo, we can just go ahead. I mean, it's quick. We haven't put out an episode in a bit. Me and Kenny just put on hiatus for a little bit. Just had a lot going on, both of our
Mm-hmm.
lives. I think we're eyeing a return.
Ooh.
So it's coming back.
All
Yeah,
right,
much
cool.
needed to come back. I miss talking about horror movies. I feel like somehow I was watching slightly less, not waking
Mm-hmm.
up at 7 a.m. to throw on a horror movie. I've kind of kept it, here and there.
Mm.
But I think it's coming back very, very soon.
All right, all right. So keep your eyes and ears open for that one. And go ahead and subscribe to all their feeds. Are you guys doing video yet? Or are you gonna do you just on the podcast feeds? Okay.
We're
Okay.
old. Just put some headphones on, then you can go about your day.
There you
Nothing
go.
wrong with doing the video, though, of course.
All right. So 2024. Are we
Yes.
starting from January and going through the year, or
Woof.
are we not doing a timed thing? Where are we?
No,
How do you make your list?
here's this is crazy. When you ask me to do this, usually my notes are a lot more crazy than this. Obviously, you've
Hmm.
seen when we do Anyone Can Die, but
Yeah.
I literally just went down the list. Like these are the things that I remember seeing that I liked or that I heard about.
Hmm.
I kind of like I didn't know how many you wanted me to mention that I had if I had like a top five or just
Mm.
like a broad like spectrum
Mm.
of what I like. Because I even put down like loved these weird like out there ones that I said were stupid honorable mentions, not horror that have been listed as horror, and then
Okay.
one that I needed to see that I still have.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So I think what we should do is go through. I would like to know your top three can't miss
Ooh,
from
okay,
2024. Okay,
yes.
and then we'll talk about. Yeah, I mean you can rate them or whatever if you want, but I think we should talk about just like the ones that you probably
With
should see. You know.
okay, um, looking at the list, I mean, I think that my top three, and I should I list them
Hmm.
in like three, two, one. Do you want that, or it doesn't matter? Like how I would.
It doesn't matter to me about
Okay.
that part.
I think one of the easy ones that I'm just going to throw out there then that I think
Hmm.
most people saw was Long Legs.
Okay.
I mean, that
Okay.
movie was all kinds of just craziness. If Nick Cage has anything to do with any movie, I got to see it because you just know it's going to take you to a place that most films can't simply because he wants to be involved.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
you take Osgood Perkins, the guy that made the film. He actually, I'll mention him in the 2025
Hmm.
film as well, but this is like
Yeah.
his son. Obviously, his dad was in Psycho, kind of a big deal
Hmm.
for someone to choose horror as something they want to go after when they're one
A
of their parents
legacy.
like
Yeah.
yeah is like in one of the greatest ones considered one of the greatest ones of all time
Hmm.
and for him to
Hmm.
like land it. I mean, there are people that will you can nitpick any movie regardless if it wins like a billion awards or
Hmm.
if one there's just one person that gives it a fresh look on Rotten Tomatoes if you care
Yeah.
to go down that route. But I think that film did something that I didn't expect. It was like, oh, this because I don't want to give away any spoilers, but
Yeah.
we all
Yeah.
this film was supposed to be about like a serial killer or someone that
Hmm.
is in that realm.
Okay.
Um, and it ended up taking you into a really it took you on a really crazy ride all the way through, and then at the very end of the film you're kind of like okay, like I don't know what to do with any of this. You kind of just like you're just like kicked off that ride. It's almost like you got on the roller coaster and at some point
Hmm.
the rails broke and it just flew right off that thing.
Okay. Okay.
um Also, I'm blanking on her name. uh Mackay is her last name, I believe, but she was in It Follows. She's like the main.
Pfeiffer, maybe.
No, I'm gonna have to look it up now. I'm doing this mid. What'd you say? Mackay Monroe, I think. Micah Monroe. Irene's giving me the assist from the other room,
Love
but
the assist.
she was like in It Follows and The Watcher, or it may just be called Watcher.
Okay.
Two other films that are like based on like really like crazy situations. One is another thing that might involve a serial killer. Another one is about something that's hunting
Hmm.
humans
Hmm.
and might involve STDs. But
Hmm.
she's in that, and she's absolutely amazing in it. And
Okay.
then you wouldn't even know when you sit down and actually get to see it. You wouldn't even realize Nick Cage is the character he is until he gives you like a couple moments of true Nick Cage thing.
Okay. Okay.
So
All
that's
right.
one of them for sure.
Okay.
Um, did you watch it?
I haven't seen Long Leg. I've seen a couple of these. I
Yeah,
haven't seen Long Legs though.
you definitely that one's you just need to see because also
Okay.
the next film we'll talk about later on for 2025 is going to be
Hmm.
interesting to see what Osgood Perkins does with something, but I'll just leave that alone for now. Uh,
Okay.
I mean, easily. I mean, there was a bunch of stuff that came out in 2025, and even when I googled like just to see like did I not catch something that I should have when we started to have this
Hmm.
conversation, it still is like one of those ones that everybody raves about.
Hmm.
Uh, so good.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So it's a must see. We're calling
yes,
must
definitely.
see.
Yeah.
Okay. Must
Um,
see. All right. So what's next? I have the list. I'm looking at the list by the way.
okay.
What are you gonna pick?
Maxine,
Okay.
dude, just because X was ridiculous. I mean, Maxine just follows in the footsteps of the other two films,
Hmm.
and I didn't know what to expect with it. The way they had, because I'm going to try not to give any spoilers in this. I
Okay.
might, but
Yeah.
just
Lights. We'll do
where
light spoilers
okay,
if you want. So.
where the character of Maxine goes and follows with
Hmm.
Pearl, like there's this whole like through line of X being in
Hmm.
like 70s, and then Pearl was way before that, and then
Hmm.
Maxine is like the 80s. They split
Hmm.
it up in a weird way, and it kind of follows the path of a couple different characters.
Hmm.
Um, but it's definitely kind of out there. It's still obviously horror. It's another one that deals with serial killers.
Yep.
The character in this one, Maxine, kind of takes a different route than what you thought she would take,
Hmm.
um, from X to this, because that is at least the same character. And it's
Hmm.
still, of course, connected to Pearl. But it also deals with like cult stuff, which is crazy, serial killer
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
Um, Kevin Bacon's in it. They pulled like a
Oh
Kevin
yeah,
Bacon,
Kevin Bacon is in it.
dude. He also
That's
was in
weird.
the new Beverly Hills Cop
Oh,
Axel
is
movie
he?
on Netflix, and he plays like a bad dude in that. In this movie, you're like kind of giving away a little bit. He might not be such a good dude in
Hmm.
Maxine, but just the way they like hit this like really like grungy depths of like LA, but then there's like a sheen
Hmm.
to it, and they added the synth in perfect. It sets you.
Hmm.
They did it such. They created such a perfect like world for each film, and it fits in perfectly. And I
Yeah.
didn't was going to be my favorite, even though going in I wanted to be. I'm an '80s guy, and I was like, well, I don't think this is going to hit with the other two, but it did. It was actually my
Hmm.
favorite of the three. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Maxine. The only take I have on Maxine is I'm glad that they made this random ass trilogy,
yeah,
and it's like it's so weird. And I think you. I mean, we'll go into some other sequel type stuff
mhm,
later on, but
yeah,
it was the way they went with Maxine. It was not. If you watch the trailer for it, it is not what you think is what's gonna happen at all.
yeah, yeah,
Like you think it's gonna go in a completely different direction from the
yeah.
trailer, I think. And then you watch it and you're like, holy shit, this is insane.
I mean, Ty West, who did House of the Devil, it's a movie we did on Anyone Can Die.
Hmm.
Just everything that dude has put out has been spectacular. I like love everything he's done. Ty West just really knows how to drop you in to the world of like the time period and everything. He
Hmm.
uses music so well, and sometimes no music and just the sounds of whatever is going on. He's so good at that stuff. He's up there as like one of the better directors for
Hmm.
horror that is not like they just kind of to a degree came out of nowhere. He didn't have any kind of like crazy jumping off point. Hopefully I'm not making an ass out of myself by saying that, and then he actually did. But to my knowledge, what I knew about him is he didn't really get and this is not saying anything about bad about Osgood Perkins or like Jordan Peele, known as
Hmm.
like directors now that have films underneath their belt. One obviously had family that allowed him to like get a more of a look, and then
Hmm.
Jordan Peele, just like his whole career was already amazing. Uh,
Hmm.
he is truly unbelievable. I will hands down argue to till the death of me that he is probably one of the top five all time like horror directors based off of what he's given us so far. He's unreal, but he at least had something to like kind of like open the decree,
Hmm.
like peek in and like say, give me a shot. And I don't know that Ty West had that, and he's done a really good job of what he did.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I think we probably need to pick up the our pace a
Oh
little bit.
shoot. All right.
But
For
three.
me
What's three?
the best one. This would beat out both of those. Would be Late Night with the Devil.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
Oh my
No.
god. It's part of Shutter. It's like an original Shutter film. Um, this one I would not want to give away to anybody other than it's just about a late night host that has a girl, and this woman that she's working with rescued her from a cult, and this
Hmm.
girl allowed a demon. She can access a demon within to speak, and it's all about proving that that's not real. And this late
Okay.
night host has like literally brought a bunch of people on to prove or disprove all this stuff on what might be one of his last possible showings of his like
Mhm.
airing of his shows, and shit gets wild. It is unreal. I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's like
Okay.
was my
Okay.
favorite one of the year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Great. Great. So, but that's only on Shutter.
It was in theaters and stuff, but I think you could probably watch it other places. But it's definitely on Shutter because it's a Shutter original to a
Mm.
degree.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Your number four, I have seen.
yeah. I didn't put these those three films just really like I can't wait to go back and watch. But obviously
Okay.
Nosferatu. It's great to see that film just go in a different direction than the originals. I mean, because you kind of have I don't care about spoilers. Dracula
Yeah.
Nosferatu means vampire in
Hmm.
Romanian, so it's like, come on, it is
Yeah.
about an ancient guy like Dracula, and Orlok is who Nosferatu actually is. He's Count Orlok,
Hmm.
basically latching on to a woman and trying to get to her and using these
Hmm.
means, yada yada yada. But it ends very differently, a little bit, and I loved how they did it. And then obviously, the director. Oh my god, I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden. Oh my god, I'm having a serious brain fart. But he did
But we'll look
The
it up. I'll
Witch.
look it up.
Uh, I
Yeah.
can't believe I'm blanking
Keep
on his
just
name.
it's fine. I'm looking it up.
But you just knew you were going to get an amazing film visually, how he
Hmm.
uses sound, music,
Hmm.
all of it.
Yeah.
It's unreal. And then you have Willem Dafoe, who's
Just a
just
nutcase.
dude crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We're
yeah,
talking Robert Eggers.
yes, Robert Eggers. I can't believe I was blanking on his name, but
Yeah, it's okay.
he crushed it.
Yeah. I mean, this one saw in theaters. Beautiful movie.
Yep.
Um, everyone, I mean, from what I've heard, Lily Rose Depp did all of that weird contortion shit just
Yeah.
on cue, which is wild.
Yep.
Nicholas Hoult was really good in it.
Yep.
I think everybody's really good in it, honestly.
Yeah, it was from the jump, everyone just was solid all the way. I had no
Yeah.
complaint all about that movie. It's one of the few times where you get like a remake or something and you're like,
Hmm.
they did everything justice
Yeah.
from way back, early
Hmm.
1900s, but kept it fresh.
Yeah. And I think Bill is Count Orlok, the Skarsgård. Man,
You wouldn't even know it
this
was him.
dude. You couldn't tell it was him. You couldn't
Yeah.
hear it. It was him.
Yep.
He was. I like that they went with the Eastern European like look. Like he has that fat mustache, and it's like he's just a gross fucking thing. And dude, at some point we probably need to talk about just the year of Aaron Taylor Johnson. This dude is just in everything.
Yep.
He's crushing it. So good for him.
Yeah.
Nicholas Hoult too. He's in a fucking ton of stuff too.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, movie's disgusting. It's great.
Yep.
I don't. A lot of people have said. I mean, it is Dracula essentially is a love story, but it's just a. It's dude, it's so long. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's so goddamn long. Like 2.5 hours long. This thing,
Yeah.
or 2 hours and 12 minutes. But I'm just like, bro, cut this shit to an hour and a half. Like, please.
Yeah.
I don't need most of it. But it does bother me that no one I just want a new take on the Dracula story. Like it's the same Dracula story in every single one of these things. Which is whatever. I just want something new when they do.
That's why Lost Boys, we were given Lost Boys in the 1980s, and why I love that so much,
Hmm.
because it's about this group of like young dudes that are actually controlled. I mean, it's you still get the ultimate high up boss man vampire that's going
Hmm.
after the mom of the kids, but it's
Hmm.
more about the kids playing with the other kids and like trying to get Michael to join David's crew. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like pulls you out of that a little bit. We go. I don't want to. We don't need to
Yeah,
start.
we could do a whole thing on Lost Boys. But all right, cool. So that might be uh I've seen I've seen both of the not horror mentions that you have here.
Yeah, people
But that's
listed
the
it.
last movie I've seen of your list.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say if you want to like, I put Violent Nature on this. I
Hmm.
thought it was crazy, and it was something I wouldn't normally watch. It's a bit much, I would say, unless you're really into that world of horror. It was awesome to see someone be able to actually make a film in that way, and it kind of worked. But like, I'll probably never
Hmm.
rewatch it. Just it's a lot. I don't
Okay.
want to get that one away. Um, I put two as my stupid movies, and I'm sure people will probably come after me for it. But Terrifier 3 has gotten to the point where I'm like, I went to see it because I saw, I mean,
Hmm.
he's their film, but technically there's been like three Art the Clown films before this, maybe four, I don't even know. But
Yeah.
this was like to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm kind of done with it.
Okay.
Like there gets to a point where the violence is just so over the top. It's like you're not giving us anything.
Yeah, it's just for gore's sake.
Yeah. And then Abigail felt like a movie from the 80s and 90s that was just like, what the hell are y'all doing?
This is the one with now that I think about it, this is the ballerina girl,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I saw this
Actually, I
one.
take it back. This is not an 80s and 90s film because those two decades do horror awesome justice. This is an
Yeah.
early 2000s
Oh,
horror
very
movie.
much so.
You can't
Yeah, yeah.
figure it out. What are you doing?
I think all right, so I agree. Terrifier 3. I didn't see Terrifier 3, but if you watch even half of one of those, you're like, okay, I get
I
it.
got it. Yeah, I figured
Yeah.
it out. Yeah,
Abigail I think was too long, but it was fun. It was a fun movie.
yeah. That's what I was gonna say. You said the exact word. I was like,
Yeah.
when a film's not quite up to par when someone's like, but it's such a fun film. Oh God. Or
Yeah.
it was a hidden gem. Get out of here. It was a hidden gem
Hidden,
because
yeah,
we
I don't
went too
know.
far and you're digging for something.
Yeah, I don't know. Hidden gem is the word, but I think it was definitely fun. Like
Yeah.
it was like, oh, okay.
It
Like the
had its moment.
twist in it, especially if you didn't know the twist, like about
Yeah.
what was gonna happen. You're like, oh, okay, cool. This is
Yeah.
what's up.
Uh, the other one that I put that I haven't seen yet is called
Hmm.
Oddity, and it
Okay.
takes place in the world of this movie called Caveat. And that
Okay.
movie came out a few years ago. I
Hmm.
don't want to give anything away about either of those, but I know Oddity has been in the horror community. Like a lot of people really love this, and a lot of people really loved Caveat. And they are
Okay.
two good movies that'll pair together. And that's just one for people like if they're looking for something to watch. I
Mm.
haven't seen it yet, but from what I understand, if you like Caveat, Oddity just takes it to the next level and is
Mm.
super.
Nice, nice. Okay.
Um, I don't know if you want me to do the honorable mentions or not. That's the
Yeah,
only.
hit some honorable mentions and then we'll do the not horror to end it out.
Okay. Honorable mentions. There's a movie called Arcadian, and it has Nick Cage in it.
Okay.
It's about him and his two sons
Hmm.
in like this post-apocalyptic situation. They you don't get a whole lot of backstory to why humans are just like almost entirely gone. I think there might have something to do with just like World War destruction, yada yada yada. But they're like
Hmm.
out in the countryside trying to figure it out, and they have neighbors who they work with to trade and stuff with. But ultimately, Nick Cage, the father, has to like do a lot of sacrifice and keep his sons
Mm.
alive and to understand why you take care of each other and why humans need to continue on. And I'll
Hmm.
leave that. Nick
Okay.
Cage in probably one of the most serious roles I've seen, where he still gives you some moment you're like, gives you a good couple laugh out loud moments.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
the other one is Destroy All Neighbors, and it's just this crazy messed up, like it's a special effects movie.
Oh,
If you've
okay.
seen Psycho Gorman, if you haven't seen that, that's a movie from a few years back. But it's
Hmm.
really all about like crazy, just like monster stuff. Where this guy having like some trouble with his girlfriend, with a new neighbor that moved in, and he's like inside of his head, but maybe he's not. Some wild stuff goes down. It's on Shutter. And if you're just down to watch something absolutely absurd with really cool special effects and Guar like
Mm. Okay.
happenings, that's a good one to watch.
Guar like. Okay. We'll call it a guar like.
Yeah.
Um. All right. Cool. So then we have a couple of not horrors, and I've seen
Yes.
both of these.
Yeah. I think Alien Romulus is obviously going to get lumped in with horror because the Alien
Yeah.
franchise kind of started in that to a degree, horror
Hmm.
sci-fi. And while I wouldn't consider it horror, I mean, we're talking about horror 2020, horror films from 2024.
Yeah.
And yes, it's kind of in there. I loved it, but also as a diehard Aliens fan, obviously hated some moments where it's like you didn't need to go there. You could have just kept going out on your own limb,
Yeah.
because you're doing so well. But it was really good overall, and it sounds like they're already going to do another one to add into the the franchise.
Hmm.
So kind of can't wait to see what happens there.
Yeah.
Um, and then lastly, I'm guessing, did you say you saw both of these movies?
Yeah. Oh, I have one take about Alien
Oh
Romulus.
yeah.
I think I heard a take of it. Somebody was talking about it on some other podcast, and their take was they wish the movie would have been about what happened on the ship before they went,
Yeah.
instead of the kids going up there and seeing what happened, like the wreckage.
It for actual Alien fans and a percentage
Yeah.
of Alien fans that were coming into it, it probably would have been able to offer a lot more,
Hmm.
focus so much more on that, and then give us like 25-30 minutes of the kids finding it, and then that's almost a better jumping off point for the
Hmm.
next film.
Yeah.
um
That
because
would
I
have been
mean,
sick.
they create like continued somewhat on the foundation that we've had from the other Alien films, and they did a really good job kind of like staying in it but going out on their own.
Hmm.
I really liked what they did. There's just like obviously like the "get away from her, you bitch" shout out that they gave was like that did not need to
Yeah.
be there. That's my only real gripe with the film, because I love, dude, I'm always gonna be corny 80s, like
Yeah.
cornball 80s guy that loves when people like every time Stranger Things does anything where they shout
Hmm.
out one of my favorite films, I'm just instantly like, oh, I just melt in the couch and love it so much more. But yeah,
Yeah. No, I think it was cool. I think it could have been better.
yep,
And there's no way on earth that that chick stayed pregnant at all.
oh yeah,
She was
yeah,
getting kicked off of, 12-foot rafters and shit. And like,
yeah,
dude, there's no
no,
way.
no,
But anyways, that was like a thing. You was getting her ass kicked the whole fucking movie. Like
yeah,
there's no way she's staying pregnant. No, there's no possible way.
yeah,
But anyways, last but not least, we go to Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
yes,
Yes, I thought it was a great time.
yeah,
A little
yeah.
fun little jaunt back into the 80s. Yeah,
I mean, there
80s.
wasn't a lot. I didn't have. I don't know if you had many gripes with the film. I definitely didn't. I
No,
thought
I thought it was fun.
it's hard sometimes when people complain about a film being
Hmm.
a bad take on the original when the person that made the film made the original and did
Hmm.
everything with the same, for the most part, crew of people, and everybody
Hmm.
was having fun with it. I loved it. I mean, I did. I don't want to give. There was like when she goes to visit the kid in the treehouse, I
Hmm.
pretty much looked at Irene, and I can't remember if I said it in the moment, but I gave her a nudge or something like, I know exactly what happens from here. Like I knew,
Oh
like as
yeah.
soon as like I know what this kid is, I know what she's doing, I know what's going to happen. Kind of had it figured out, but I still was on the edge of my seat and loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh man. It was it felt like if they like going into it, they took the cartoon Beetlejuice into account when they were making it. I'm like,
yeah,
this is because it was weird and
yep.
goofy. He didn't seem as like, I don't know, out to get them at all.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of just he's around. He's a guy.
Well, it's crazy. I think I can't remember what the percentage of the film or the actual minutes he's used in the original film, but it's nothing. Like
Yeah,
he's
it's like 8 minutes or something.
yeah, and he's barely in this one too, but it's still just like, oh, so good. And Danny DeVito, dude, his little thing in the beginning,
Dude.
I was in tears. As soon as I saw him from behind, I was like, holy shit, no way. Like,
Yeah, no, amazing
yeah,
cameo. The whole it was just it was so Beetlejuice, like the whole thing. Like, there was nothing about it that was different,
yeah,
you know? I don't know. It was cool.
yeah.
But anyways, anything else about 2024 we should keep our eyes on?
Uh, Not for 2020. The only one I put down was Substance.
Hmm.
That was the last film, and it was just out there on its own. Uh,
Okay.
Director, she's I think a French director.
Okay.
A film she made a long time ago was called Revenge. Really, really good movie. I don't want to give much away from it about it,
Hmm.
but me and Irene had watched it, and by the end of it, we were just like, "What the hell is going on?" It's
Hmm.
so insane by the end of the film. And when we were watching Substance, I looked at who was the I figured out who the director was, and I was like, oh, I know
Mm.
how this is gonna end. And boy, was I it, it's crazy. But that whole take on like just today's world of how people want to like keep themselves exactly as they see
Hmm.
themselves now. If you're like
Yeah.
anywhere from age 1 to like in your 30s, when you think
Hmm.
you still have it, but not realizing like just what we're supposed to be like as humans as we age.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I think she did a really good job of like just messing with us. Pretty good.
Nice. Love it.
There's some things
Love
that
it.
I have gripes with, but overall, I think that it's really really awesome and it's a great follow up to the Revenge film.
Hmm. Hmm. So, okay. Well, that is, I'm gonna just say it's official. That's officially Anyone Can Die's top list for your
Hey,
2024 films. I'm gonna put this screenshot of Nathaniel's list on. I might put it on the. I'll put it somewhere. You'll see it when you see this. So, so we'll do that. But or when you listen to this. So this particular episode's coming out on the 24th of January. So you'll be listening to that in January. So, but we're gonna start off February. Our February list, me, what movies to look out for in 2025, horror wise.
yeah,
Anyways, for go and check out Anyone Can Die. Hopefully, they'll have a new episode up by the time this comes out, or next time the next episode comes out.
that's more like
Subscribe there. Yeah, if you like the list, drop it. Actually, if you're in this list and you disagree, or if you had any add-ons, what we missed, maybe drop them in the
hey,
comments. We'll check that out. You know.
yeah.
But anyways, been your boys. We are out.